All right, boys and girls, game number 3 underway. It is tied up now 1-1, and I'm really glad we got into this series because 2 really talented players clashing right now. I'm Rifkin, joined by Zeph, and spawning in the northern location on Polar Night. It's going to be the Yellow Zerg player, PandaBearMe.
And his opponent in the southern position, the Red Terran once again from No Dice Gaming. Give it up for Spectre.
I'm sorry, I know you said PandaBearMe's clan before, but I've forgotten it. What is
Integrity Gaming.
Integrity Gaming!
Yep.
Sorry, I just realized on the intro I totally blanked as I started. I was like, let's just not try and guess. Because I would have been like, I don't know, X Invictus Gaming? Question?
Yeah, I always think it's like Invictus or Infinity. I'm pretty sure he said Integrity. If I'm wrong, someone correct me. It's possible, it's probably likely, but no, I asked him before in the lobby and I was kind of like, oh yeah, that's what it is, and then made a mental note, then forgot about it, so hopefully I got it right.
I love some of the responses we saw in chat, by the way, after that last game. Just, holy crap, can I change my bet? I have made a mistake. Yeah, Spectre played that really well, and again, it takes such a, it's the hardest decision. If you're Terran, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anytime you ever have to cancel Stimpak, you don't want to. You're like, no, this is such a good upgrade. I can't win without it. But the choice to cancel Stimpak and get a Siege Tank last game single-handedly won him that game, I feel. And
yeah.
Good decision-making out of this guy. I really would be sad to see him go out, but at the very least, whether it's PandaBearMe or whether it's Spectre that goes out of this game, out of this series, there is a loser's bracket to fall to. So I gotta say, I've got very full confidence that if either of these go out, or sorry, well, someone has to, but regardless of which player goes out, I wouldn't be surprised to see them still make it to the finals regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish Challenge was working again, so we could actually see who these guys would probably have to go through if they did end up in the lower bracket. But anyway, we'll find that out later. Either way, for now, let's enjoy this game, and we actually have going for pretty standard stuff. I mean, not all that much to talk about. The Overlord is actually going to see
this.
Not massive news for him, obviously.
No, of course not. But this is a much better map for Triple Reapers, which I wouldn't be shocked to see out of Spectre this time. Again, Habitation Station, we did see him go for 3, but it's not a great map for them. Heavy Rain, he tried to do a little bit of scouting, but got unlucky. This is a map, though, where 3 Reapers, I think, is going to be essential. 2 still works, though. Don't get me wrong. 3, again, it's so weird, because I know you've been a little bit sort of on the more casual side of casting lately, but it's astounding to me. I don't know where or when or why, but just 3 started becoming a thing recently. And I was discussing it with Zombie Girl because it's so weird. It's something that just kind of unanimously came out of the woodwork. Because 2 was kind of the agreed upon Reaper, like agreed upon by everybody. It's like, okay, 2's good. Let's just go for 2. But yeah,
the thing that was really like iffy about 3 was, I mean,
well,
3 is like the absolute maximum you can do without pushing it too far. So I thought a lot of people wouldn't bother because they usually wouldn't get enough done. But yeah, certainly one of these maps is one of those ones where it's certainly abusable enough. And so that's what we're going to be seeing. Well, let's see if we can actually get anything done.
Well, I'd like to talk about too. The reason 3 is like this really nice magic number, so to speak, is 2 Reapers can eventually trade with a Queen. You kind of dance in, dance out a couple times, you'll eventually kill it. 3 Reapers can just straight up kill a Queen with some half-decent micros. So already softening this one up. Once the combat drugs come into effect and that 3rd Reaper gets over here, that Queen is probably going to die. Yeah,
it's really frustrating for PandaBearMe too, because he has to bring his Lings back down to the creep just to ward those Reapers away. Oh, he's going to get droned. Very nice. 3rd Reaper joins in.
Oof.
Gosh,
a little bit scary. Combat Drugs has healed up that 1 Reaper, though. 2 Queens here to defend is going to be a little bit harder to trade out with, but these guys could just hop to the main and probably pick off that Queen instead.
Yeah, he's actually got a lot of money. He could probably make the 4th Queen.
You never really want to go 2 Queen heavy versus this sort of opening, though. I mean, it's going to be decent for the Hellions, but the priority has got to be putting your minerals towards speed, getting roaches out, being able to deal with the follow-up. Because while the Reapers are really annoying now, it's the Hellions that are scary.
Yeah, true. I was waiting to see what it was actually going to do, because it's like almost floating 500 minerals. I'm like, what?
Well, 3rd base and Roach Warren time out pretty nicely here, so
yeah, he does sneak out there.
3rd Commander on the way here for Spectre. I really like that he's been building this in his main, by the way, because even if you've got total control with the Reapers, there's always a chance to Lings manage to slip past your point of view, come across the map, and kill that SCV that's trying to build it on location. So, yeah, delays it by like 10 seconds, but it's safe and it's guaranteed.
Yep. Alright, first couple of Hellions out here, and this is where it gets really annoying. You can start poking away at that hatchery at the 3rd, and you can actually kill it if the Zerg doesn't have enough out. In this case, he only has a few links. He's making 10 more because he knows that this is probably going to be a bit of an issue with the queens and whatnot. I like the choice of the Roach Warren though, because it just makes it that much easier to hold this off, and then it's less risky for you when they start trying to poke away at your hatchery and you're awkwardly trying to chase after it with a queen to take the first few hits. And wow, we actually have the Cloak Banshee follow-up as well.
Yeah, this isn't actually something we saw before, but what's really nice about Cloak Banshee is it's this nice, again, sort of catch-all with early openers, because we don't have a 2-base Mutalisk coming out of PandaBearMe. It's a very rare build anyways. Banshees will fare well against anything on the ground. They can focus fire Banelings, they can do a lot of damage to roaches. We'll see just how this comes into effect. Of course, you can always try and dive through and kill drones, which, I mean, every Zerg player, I think, at this point has kind of learned to make Spore Crawlers, but you're never going to have them down this early.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Overlord's parked right over the starport, so he knows this is coming. But instead, he's actually just going to keep making roaches, keep making links, and push this off the map. Maybe he'll go all the way across, actually.
The idea with this is, I mean, the Banshee's going to eventually kill roaches, but that's kind of the keyword eventually. The DPS is good, but as we see, it still takes a while to kill even so much as one.
Yeah, I think maybe he wasn't paying attention to what his Overlord's actually seeing, because he should have kind of had the spores up right by now. Either way, I mean, I've seen a lot of Cloaked Banshee on this map because it works really well, especially because usually you can tuck the starport in a little bit closer to where the third CC was put for the Spectre, and then it's really hard for the Zerg to actually get a scout off in there. You just have to be a little bit careful. There's a lot of spores coming up. It does find a sweet spot though, and that spore gets cancelled, which is going to be really annoying. 8
drones killed 2, the ones that just transferred over freshly. Sad to see, but an unfortunate reality. Does have to move this Banshee though. The Spore Crawler is burning right underneath it. It's a little bit scary. But there are enough spores that this Banshee shouldn't be that big of a threat. And, I mean, as a Terran player, whether you're playing Bio, whether you're playing Mech, if you can get 2 or 3 Banshees out, suddenly Spore Crawlers are not a threat, because you can actually kill them while they take the time to reburrow. But one Banshee's simply not going to cut it. And it's a little bit odd to have seen that Cloak investment and no second Banshee follow-up. A lot of the times you go for at least 2, if not 3, just because the Cloak makes it more worthwhile. But cutting that production early, already getting that reactor up, we're going to see some medevacs coming out shortly. 1-1's on the way. All the upgrades in tech for Spectre are aligning perfectly.
Yeah, it's that Terran laundry list time. It's just got everything going on, powering up super hard. The third will come down, the push will start. And he's kept these units alive once again for so long in this game. And they'll probably just join in with the next push, make it even more difficult to deal with. While the Lair and 1-1 comes up for our Zerg player here. So he has got that third up and running now, taking the gas. They'll help pump out that Spire and whatever else he needs. Towards that 2-2 as well, but
I am a little worried for Spectre though. As we go a little bit further into this, let's not forget the third base for a Terran player is very hard to defend. It doesn't matter which third you take, it's not going to be a fun defense. And even over here, it's still fairly exposed. But as long as Spectre's got good, like the thing for a Terran player is really intuitive to be like, okay, throw down 50 bunkers, some supply depots, let's go for a super defense. But realistically, it's that really like that old saying, like the best defense is good offense. Funneling Marines across the map, pressuring a third, putting Widow Mines over there, making sure that your opponent can't attack your third is kind of the best way to do it. But PandaBearMe gonna actually get a couple of free mules here with these Lings, I think.
Yeah, certainly. Use that sort of cliche saying, the best defense is a good offense, and that's when we see that sort of Widow Mine push come out. And
I mean, it's the oldest saying, but it's still relevant because it is true.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to start pushing out across the map here. Marines and Widow Mines on one side, Hellion sweeping around the other side just to make sure he's cleaned up that watchtower. Banshee's still in here as well. And what does PandaBearMe have to hold this off? He does have a few units out,
no
but they were busy breaking the rocks.
Without
Banelings, that's going to be a problem.
I don't think you can even engage into this.
Cancel.
Sacrificing the third might just be necessary, but he's going to try and wrap around and attack this with the Zerglings. Again, I don't think the Zerglings are going to be the answer, but the Roaches will get a bit of damage done for now. Banshee going to keep zoning these back. Banelings on the way, but they don't even have speed. He's slow-walking Banelings, despite the fact they are in creep, sure, but the Banshee focus firing them down. I talked about this earlier, and it's going to be rough to hold, but looks like he will just barely do it.
Barely? Maybe? Has he got it?
If he cleans up the Marines, that's the real
That was a rough hold, though.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. He gets the Banshee as well. That's one less threat to deal with. I was actually really worried for that third. I thought it would die.
I really like what he did with the fourth. This is something like... Okay, Polar Knight's been around for a long time, and I've been screaming and yammering and moaning about people using and abusing the rocks, but finally... Oh, nice actually waste of a Baneling in the middle of the map. But he's knocked down the rocks in the back, so he's got this very secure fourth. I like this a lot.
Yeah, certainly. It's a smart move, and that's one less place that the Terran could be rallying units to attack. And so he's going to go for a drop while he moves out for the next push as well. And the whole Zerg army, okay, cool. He does actually feel it. I was getting worried there that he was actually going to move the whole thing over there to defend against the drop. But good map awareness, seeing that that's indeed what's going on. And one good thing that happened from that push from Spectre was that he forced PandaBearMe to spend all his money into ground units, because you need units like right now, and so the mutas are a little bit later. He didn't have enough money to
we don't see that 35-40 count or whatever we saw in Habitation Station.
Exactly. He only has 8. It's really not very many. It's almost,
and they're chasing the medevac up here, so third base in a bit of trouble. Banelings are sitting there, they're not engaging. Centrifugal Hooks is on the way, but it's not done yet. Either way, he should be able to push this back even without that.
Yeah, he does. The drop gets cleaned up as well. Nice micro from PandaBearMe, by the way. He tends to micro the hurt meters back, which is really cool. But it does require a lot of attention. So when we've got that multi-prong stuff going on, it can sometimes hurt him. But he's going to go for a counterattack just as Baneling's speed is finishing up. I don't think he has enough to do any damage here, though.
There is such a grab bag mix of units for Spectre right now. Like, he's got a couple Marauders peppered in, some Hellbats, a couple of Widowmites, a Thor now coming out. Like, it's not a bad composition, but it's certainly odd to say the least. Now, I like this segment of Lings, by the way. He's looking for that extra base to try and knock it down, but there's nothing over here to the left, and there's certainly nothing behind the rocks.
Well, he can get into the mineral line, but there's a bunker there to meet him, so he's going to go for the Banelings instead. Very nice running into this National. This is actually delaying the push, which is currently hovering over the third.
Yeah, it's a big push coming out. These Widowmites should get some decent connects on these Lings, and they will get a good connection on that first one. Second Widowmite's still not armed, but there's some Banelings also morphing in, ready to roll into that third. Even though the bunker's there, we'll see if they can get a lot of damage, but the third base is what PandaBearMe has to defend. He can't give this up. He might have the fourth, but this third base is so essential, not just to his economy, to his production.
Oh, he's going to be so careful. The Widowmines are going to do so much damage to that. Mutas come in, but they're getting shredded. There's really not a lot of those out. 3-3 on the way for the Terran as well. This is only going to get scarier and harder to hold off these Banelings.
Oh, they will get the connects on the SCVs, though. A couple do go down.
Okay, he does get some.
But that's not enough damage, because look at the push still standing. There's still a Widowmite here. There's still a lot of Marines. The Marauders are less important, but he's continuing to make them just on the chance that there's roaches, but also so they can soak the Baneling hits. Look at this again. Spectre always segmenting these out, sending them in first, wanting the Banelings to roll into the Marauders, not the Marines.
Yeah, spread at the top of the ramp. Come up the ramp. It actually has a decent amount of units here.
Oh, Widowmines get the Mutalists as well as the Banelings. This is such a good connect. Thor gonna push through this as well. There's too many Marines still standing. PandaBearMe is bleeding out slowly, guys. He just can't get that unit count to overwhelm his opponent.
Spectre, he has got some serious
momentum. Oh, look at this, gets on top of the Banelings.
The Banelings going to take these out if he can.
Oh no, but he's got to be careful. They're going to hatch on top of the Marines.
Oh no.
Way too ballsy. Now there's a Thor remaining. Picks it up in a really low medevac, a little bit scary, a small heart attack. But still, even though he lost all those Marines, the damage was done. Look at the resources lost. This is looking so bad for PandaBearMe. He needs to get... The problem is, at this point, what he needs is so many Banelings they can overwhelm his opponent. But because he's got no Mutalisks, once the Marines spread, the Banelings become ineffective. Yeah,
he has so much gas, but he needs so much minerals for those Lings that he can't really afford to build these Mutalisks. I mean... It's really tough. The Terran has a serious supply lead. Even if he does get Mutas out, he's got 2 Thors to contend with. 3-3 is about to finish as this push begins. And this is going to be so hard for PandaBearMe to hold off. Can he actually do it?
It's not going to be easy for an integrity gaming player. The Mutalist count is just far too low. And there's 2 Thors is normally a joke to deal with, but will actually be really easy for Spectre to just keep these on the front lines. Still funneling across the map, and this is the rally I was talking about before. I love that he's, I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but I like that he's got units segmented and left at home in case of a counterattack, because that has always got to be a concern, but Banelings can't quite get around the Thors. Zerglings are slowly picking them off.
Oh, but some more Banelings rolling in. Actually going to fall. The Thors chipping away at it long enough. These Banelings going to the third. Not going to get much done apart from taking out the bunker, and the Zerg once again struggling. Oh, look at that power.
But, oh, great hit out of PandaBearMe!
Monster kill! That was
you know what?
Beautiful.
This is so cool because we've been praising Spectre a lot in his right moves, but that Baneling Burrow, the segmenting, even though he didn't kill a lot of damage, it's the fact that he's finding the opportunity to still try and do counterattacks to the third, to still try and sneak by and do some real damage to Spectre behind enemy lines. But he's stuck on 2-2 with a significantly smaller army supply. I mean, that was a really cool move out of PandaBearMe, but he's not exactly recovered yet.
No, he needs more of those moves if he wants to actually win, because The Terran's taking his own 4th base now, as if it wasn't hard enough holding this 3 base push already. So he has actually managed to squeeze a few more mutas out, which is good as well. Maybe he can swing around, try and pick off reinforcements, but at the end of the day, Spectre, he's been really, really good with controlling his army.
I want to just give a nod to both players, by the way. There's been so few workers killed, when normally at this point you see like 30-30, 40-40 for like both players. But no one's really been able to cause enough damage to get into that mineral line. And while the 3rd base did go down, he kept a lot of units alive, which was really nice to see. But this gets a little bit more worrisome because this 4th base in the back now actually becomes incredibly hard to defend. These rocks were never taken down at the natural base, so there's only one pathway for PandaBearMe to attack from.
And he's leaving Widow Mines there. Oh,
God, the Banelings. Oh, he loses all of the Banelings. There's just nothing left. Was it 6 Banelings escape? There's still so many Marines. And they're on 3-3.
No. That hurt me inside to watch. Oh dear. And
I like this
now he's going to try and squeeze out a few units. Maybe. Well, actually, where did this Mutaball come from? He might actually pick up bits and pieces, but he's going to lose the 4th.
I don't know. Yeah, like the 4th is still going to go down. There's not enough Banelings to clear up the ground army. And the Mules are actually clumping on top of the Thor, so they're taking way more damage than they should. The Thor goes down, but the Marines should be able to deal with this. Good game is called as the base falls, and Spectre, ladies and gentlemen, will win this series.
Wow. That was an awesome series.
Before we leave, hang on. Oh, you already left the game. Well, before everyone else leaves, look at this. 3rd base has about 5 Banelings in the mineral line. So again, even though PandaBearMe was under the greatest pressure in the world, he was still able to get these Banelings over for a counterattack. Like, I don't even care that Spectre won. That's great. Fantastic. Congratulations to him. I do want to give some props to PandaBearMe, though. He did some really cool moves throughout this entire series. And it's sad to see him go to the losers bracket, but he has still got a chance to come back and win this. And like I said, whether it was Spectre or whether it was PandaBearMe, I feel very confident we'll see PandaBearMe again.
Yeah, certainly.